Hey everyone, this is Schipper from YRegister Video and Music Production, and lately I got a lot of questions about what kind of equipment I used while making my Asia videos. So that's why I want to talk to you about traveling light as a filmmaker. In 2014, I was preparing my 4 months, 6 countries backpack/filmmaking trip. On the internet, I couldn't find a lot of information about traveling light while filming. What do you leave at home? What do you take with you? What is essential? So this is what I did, and this is what I learned from it. Some of the things I'm going to tell you may seem obvious, but for me it was my first backpack trip where you have to travel light and make compromises, leave stuff at home. First of all, you need a backpack, and I have this 60-liter backpack. I packed it as everyone else with t-shirts, trousers, medical kits, everything. After that, I had to see how much space I had left for my camera gear. Second is my small backpack. It was for my laptop and camera. It's pretty big and handy. The camera I took with me is the Panasonic Lumix GH4. You have to remember I bought this camera in 2014 when it just came out. And the reason I chose this camera is because it has 4K internal recording with a high bitrate and also time-lapse mode. It's water and dust resistant. It was the perfect all-in-one camera for me. I was also looking at the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, but it didn't have the time-lapse mode, for example. Every year new cameras come out and there's so much choice. I used 5 128GB cards. I had six batteries with me. I took this Sennheiser MKE 400 microphone with me. It's really small, it's really light. It works with one pen light battery, and I must say the quality of the sound is really, really good. The most questions I got were about the lenses I used. There are many lenses you can choose from. Of course, I can take my Canon 16-35mm, but it's pretty heavy. Especially when go backpacking, it's really heavy. So that's why I chose for the 14-140mm Panasonic lens. It's just a kit lens, and it was good for me because it has a wide range, 14-140. The image quality is pretty sharp. The Lumix is terrible in low light. So I needed a good lens for low light shots. So I bought this Olympus 2.0 12mm lens. Also with ND filters. You need ND filters when you go to sunny places. If you don't have ND filters, you're screwed anyway. It's really important to get good shots. So get ND filters. I also wanted to have a good second camera, and in 2014 the GoPro 4 Black just came out, so I bought it. I took some mounts with me. And this was handy for filming in tuk-tuks. Of course, everyone knows it's always handy to take a GoPro. I also took this Edelkrone pocket stand. It's really handy when you want to put your camera on, for example, rocks, which I did. I also used it as a little rig. It's better than a handheld. Small tripod, that's really important. I have this really old one. It belongs to my mother, actually. It's Velbon. It's really light. It gives me the opportunity to pan and tilt. They don't set it right now, but just make sure you have a small, really light tripod. The way I traveled with it, I didn't use it as hand luggage. I just put it in my backpack, also in the plane. When I went to a hostel or in dorm, I just had it with me all the time, together with my backpack and the camera. I wanted to be a little bit more dynamic, so another thing I took with me is this GlideCam XR1000. It's really small. It's perfect for the GH4 or other small cameras. I balanced it at home and I knew how much weight I needed, so this is the only thing I took. Another important thing was my phone. Sometimes you go somewhere where you cannot take your camera with you, or maybe you think it's not safe to take it with you when you go, for example, rock climbing. I use the Sony Xperia Z3. It's waterproof, and it really is. I went into the water with it many times. It has 4K filming. Most important, it takes really good pictures, and it's just a good phone. Of course, right now you have newer, cheaper, and better phones, but this was all in 2014. So when you're traveling for a longer period of time, you want to edit and arrange your footage. I did buy a laptop. It's BTO. It's a Windows computer. It's 13-inch. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive, 16 gigs of RAM, and a really good video card. The downside is it's pretty heavy. It's around 2.1 kilos. And then you also have to add the cables. If you have the money for it, put an SSD in it. an SSD hard drive. You're traveling a lot and it's moving and you don't want it to break. It actually happened to my hard drive and I lost a lot of footage. I also bought a 2 terabyte small hard drive to back up all my footage. One main advantage is that you're traveling light and you can get to places where other people don't. Tourists simply do not care about some places to get their footage. And I noticed that I shot some footage that other people just don't have. One of the biggest downsides was that even though you're traveling light, it's still pretty heavy. I had 22 kilograms, which is 48 pounds, of stuff with me. And that's my big backpack with my small bag. Most of my fellow travelers just had 15 kilos. If you're like me, you always see an opportunity to get some good footage somewhere. So you're always walking around with your camera and your tripod and your glide cam and maybe all your extra gear. So it's always pretty heavy, but you know, it's worth it. So I slept in hostels and most of the time I slept in dorms with other people. Every dorm has their own locker for you. You can put your camera and your laptop in it, and my tripod and my glide cam were always in my backpack. Sometimes they even were on my bed, and you just have to trust the people you're with that they don't steal it. In my case, in 4 months, they didn't, but you never know. If you don't trust it, just give your stuff at the reception and, well, hope they don't steal it. So when going by plane, always put your laptop, your camera, and your most expensive stuff in your hand luggage. Just keep it with you. Airlines, they do not care about your luggage. They make a sport out of it to throw it as hard as they can. I saw it with AirAsia and I even made a video of it. Just make sure your most expensive and fragile stuff is with you all the time. So what did I learn from my last trip and what will I do different the next time? I have to say I used everything I brought with me, even the small mounts. The heaviest thing was my laptop, but also, you know, it was really nice to edit my photos and my videos while I was there. So I was really happy to take that with me. I'm going to China in a week and South Korea, going to film there. What I also will bring is this mini slider and FLexTilt head by Edelkrone. It's 20 centimeters of sliding. Of course, you can also make slider time lapses if you do it by hand. You should check out their websites because they have a lot of great pocket stuff. I'm not getting paid by them, but I'm just really fond of the stuff they have. So if you do want to achieve the slider effect, but you don't want to bring a slider or you can't afford one, there's a really cool, easy technique with a tripod. Just make sure one of the legs is in, the other two are out. Put your camera on it. For example, face it that way, go stand next to an object and just push it and make sure that it's really steady. It's easy and cheap. Something I will also bring is this quick release, also by Edelkrone. It's really handy because my glide cam and my tripod have different mounts and it takes a lot of time to, you know, with your screwdriver to change everything. It's handy, but if you want to lose weight in your backpack, don't bring it because, you know, you can also do without. I hope I answered many of your questions, but if you have more, just post them below in the comment section. Of course, I will upload the China video when it's ready, but for now you can watch the other Asia videos. If you like this video and you would like to see more of it, please subscribe to this channel and then I'll see you next time. Bye bye.